Hello viewer and welcome to your date with DBS. Tonight on our date with DBS we have Mr. Mzalendo Kibunjia, the chairman of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Tonight we are going to see what was his role in the commission, what was the role of the commission, and how far they have gone now that their time is coming to an end. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, Mr. Kibunjia,
Yes.
first thing we'd want to know is what was the mandate of the NCSC?
The mandate of NCSC was four things. First, it was supposed to help us address the issue of equity of opportunities, particularly in the public service. This is to make sure that there's no Kenyan who is discriminated on the basis of tribe, ethnicity, race and religion. That was one. The second one was to promote and facilitate harmony among the many Kenyans, the many tribes that are in Kenya. And the third thing was to make sure there is peaceful coexistence and good relations between different Kenyans. So when you look at it, we have three adjectives that we're supposed to be describing our work, which is a lot more: harmony, good relations, and peaceful coexistence, and then the equity of opportunity. And as a result of that, and that's what Kenyans has happened, is that whereas our work was to facilitate and promote peaceful coexistence, we were given a stick just in case you don't listen to us when we tell you all Kenyans should live together. And that is, we're able to prosecute hate speech or inflammatory language that incites communities.
Your team is almost going home, and you're demanding for, although you're demanding for some time, or you're requesting for some time. What has been the biggest challenge for the commission?
Several of them, of course, because we are dealing with that attitude change. When you're dealing with mindsets, mindsets are not like they are not like electricity switch it that you can switch them on and off. These are things that you take a long time to cultivate. These are things that have taken a long time to calculate in your head. Of course, now the commission trying to tell the 40 million Kenyans that there is no Kenyan who is going to leave this country. You have to live with them whether you like them or not. That's not something easy. That's has been one of the challenges. The second challenge has been funding. The kind of work that we are supposed to do require massive funding, and that has not been forthcoming from the government. Of course, there are many other competing interests, but in terms of priority, that has not been prioritized. The third challenge, I would say, is we're also dealing in ways to teach. We have to deal with the politicians, who are the leaders of this country. And in the past, and even today, the politicians, most of them, the only way they know how to mobilize political support is through dividing Kenyans among ethnic lines. Now, trying to teach them new ways of mobilizing, it's not an easy thing, I can tell you. And I think the fourth thing also, Kenyans want action quickly now, but I don't think many of them realize that this is something that will take generations for us to take. What we can do as a commission is put the right building blocks, the right foundation, and hopefully in the long run, this foundation will be able to correct some of the problems we have as far as relations between tribes in this country.
Many quotas have been giving thumbs up to your commission for the work that you do,
Yes.
but they have always been complaining that you lack teeth to bite. What is the relation between your commission and the judiciary?
Let me say the relationship is good. I don't complain, although the process, once we process cases and we have sent them to the Director of Public Prosecution, the turnaround has not been as quickly as we would wish or as quickly as Kenyans would want. I think that has been a problem, but I don't think they are dragging their feet. Maybe they are overwhelmed, maybe not. That has been an issue. And also Kenyans also must understand that we don't prosecute. Our work is to collect the evidence, prepare the files and prepare the evidence, and then send these files to the Director of Public Prosecution for them to prosecute. Now, there are a lot of people who are saying that we should be given the teeth, but I have a different view, and my different view is you do not want to concentrate all the powers in one institution. There is a very light rule. History is replete with examples of where, when you concentrate powers in one institution, they get to be misused. Like, you don't want to be we are the ones who collect the evidence. We collect audio tapes or videos of people inciting. We process that evidence. we prepare, then Kenyans also want us to arrest, and they want us to take those people to court. Now, if there is a misuse, who is going to correct it? That's why we should have checks and balance, that we collect the evidence in the field, we ask the police to arrest, and we ask the Director of Public Prosecution to prosecute. I don't think the way to solve this problem is by putting all those powers together in one institution. I think it will be unfair, and we don't want to go that direction.
Hate speech seems to emanate mainly from politicians and bloggers.
Yes.
Where else do we see cases of hate speech?
We also have, as you know, in recent cases where people are singing music, although that's not very rampant, music that you can say it's inciting, that's the problem. And sometimes even in bus parks, where touts or drivers talk about some of these things. We have also now begin to hear some of that hate speech coming out of churches as a result of the problems that we have under the coast with people who are Muslim faith, some people who are Muslim faith. So that's an area also that we are watching very, very clearly. You recall that before Abud Rogo was killed, we were investigating him for some of the statements that he made against Christians in some of his teaching. So there is also a bit of that in mosques against Christians, but it's not as big as politicians and the bloggers.
It is evident that hate speech among politicians has died for quite some percentage.
Indeed.
What could you say have reduced the hate speech?
I think, and that's one of the credit that really as a commission we take because of the action we took, particularly during the referendum for the new constitution. That action that we took, even if it did not lead to a conviction, I think most politicians now realize that there is a new kid on the block. There's a person who is policing us as far as our mouths are concerned, and I think that has reduced. Also, the many examples that we have been on record saying, if we catch you, for example, forwarding messages that are inciting, we will deal with you. We will not ask who forwarded the message to you. And I can see that has borne fruit. Also the partnership that we have formed with the Cybercrime Department in CID. They're also working with the Communication Commission of Kenya. And now we have also brought the service providers, Safaricom, You, and the Airtel, to make sure that no one sends messages or emails that are inciting.
Bloggers in the past were not such a nuisance to hate speech.
Yes.
But right now they are causing a bit of some problems. So how are you going to solve this issue with you?
For that one, we are doing several things. First, we are partnered, as again I said, with the Cybercrime Department of CID and the Communication Commission of Kenya and the service providers. We have also gone ahead. For example, we know most of these bloggers are people in the diaspora. We just returned from a visit to the diaspora where we spoke to many of the Kenyans living there and told them why it is now illegal to have these bloggers that are inciting Kenyans, and now it's a crime, and that we will use whatever means possible to find them. Yes, you can sit on the safety of your computer, sitting in Los Angeles or New York, and blogging and inciting Kenyans on basis of ethnicity, race, and religion. But if the day you get caught, woe unto you if you be the first one. And that message, I think we have delivered to most bloggers in foreign countries. I think bloggers in Kenya do understand that. I think Kenyans have also been very, very proactive in reporting some of these sites. Like yesterday, I can say we were a site called kenyapost.com was brought to our attention, which is writing very nasty thing about some senior Kenyans, and some of it bordering on hate speech, and that's something that we are following up. When we were during the visit to the diaspora, we also had a meeting with the State Department in Washington, and we expressed the wish for them to help us in reining some of these things using the networks that they have. And I think that's a commitment that we hope can be taken up to help the Commission.
Now, the time of the Commission has come to an end, and many
Indeed.
voters are proposing that you be given more time.
Yes.
How do you feel about being given more time or us having another commission?
I think for me, we feel very strongly about that. I think if you take it away from us, it will be an anticlimax for us. And I don't think really it will be fair to Kenyans to send away a commission that has worked so hard for the last 3 years to prepare Kenyans to have peaceful general elections just before the elections. You also know that even if we were to have a new commission, with the kind of politics that we have in this country, the politics of coalition government, where they don't agree about nominees, it could take 8-9 months. That means then we will go down to elections without a commission that is so crucial in terms of checking hate speech. And again, also when you bring a new team, by the time they get the ropes and get their systems together, being a new team and get the synergy that they need, we will be in elections, and that will be not useful. That's why we are asking for just 1 year extension. We're not even asking for 3, which is we are entitled for in the Act, because it says we can be reappointed for 3 years, another one term of 3 years. But if that is a big problem, let us get a 12 months extension. We get Kenyans through the elections, and then now we appoint a new team to move on as we move on.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Indeed.
What plans do you have for schools that maybe they can learn?
Yes.
They can chant against your gun?
That's a good question, a very good question. What we are doing there is that in partnership with the Minister of Education, and I want to thank really Honorable Mutula Kilonzo, who is the Minister for Education, is that we have now agreed with the Minister of Education we will have a cohesion and integration curriculum. And as part of that process, we have now done seminars, 3 of them, for all the curricular developers in the Ministry of Education, so that in the next syllabi that comes in Kenyan schools, you will be able to learn cohesion and integration from primary all the way to the university. One of the things also we have been able to push is we are saying it is very important before you graduate in college, whether you're graduating as an engineer or a journalist or whatever subject you want, a political scientist, you must make sure that you have learned the history of Kenya. You must make sure that you have graduated with a course on cohesion integration. So you can score A's in all engineering or mathematics courses or science courses, but you must show the university that you have also taken the history of Kenya. That way, we think you will be able now to appreciate other Kenyans. You'll be able to appreciate that Pokomos are not foreigners, Turkanas are not foreigners, and there is no day they will leave this country. You will also be able to appreciate that the independence of this country was fought not only by one community, but by many. The other thing also we did in terms of education was this year's drama festival, for example, and music festival. The theme was cohesion and integration. All the plays that were done by young people from primary all the way to universities. That's the theme we chose. And for that, we sponsored about 120 teachers to go to Rwanda to see what happened because of this tribal animosity. And they were very successful in making plays and the music that tells Kenyans we belong to this country all over.
Tana Delta has been burning for the last 3 weeks.
That's true.
What message do you have for them?
The same message that I'm giving the rest of Kenyans. If from next year we will have 48 governments, 47 county governments and 1 national government. Now, this government will be competing, all of them. The era where we used to say the reason why we are poor, the reason why we are left behind is because of government is coming to an end. Now, if the people of Tana River have decided to begin their counties from day one with the violence, they will be the most backward county in this country. The only thing I can tell you, please don't do it. Please resolve your issues using dialogue. Please resolve your issues peacefully. Don't kill each other because of ethnicity. Even if you killed all the Pokomos, even if you killed all the Oromas, there's no way you will massacre all of them. So it doesn't make you achieve anything. Please resolve your counties, otherwise you'll be the last country in the country.
Yeah. Mr. Kibunjia,
thank
you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.